Okay, in this video we're going to learn how to move a game object using C sharp. Then I've already set up the scene, and now we all need and what we need to do and the only thing we need to do here is to just create the script. So in order to make the character move is just there are two types. There's the character controller. The character controller is where you code your character to move it manually, but for now let's just use rigid body, because rigid body subjects the game object with this property, this component, to the Unity engine's physics system that we can create here. The assets folder, you just right click, then you can create your materials, or you can create your script. So I think it's lagging here. So let's start right away. Since we use the rigid body, we are going to code it here. Rigid body. Semicolon. Rigid body RB. Visual Studio has a way of correcting it, like choosing the functions for you, so it gets annoying when it corrects me when I write the small letter every time. And after that, you must declare what speed your character is going to move. So let's just declare what. So it's a float, which means the number that we're going to use will be a decimal. So 2.0. Then for the value that you're going to enter in float, it should always end in an F. And these things are just notes. You can use this to remind yourself every time you're making an edit. But for now, let's just remove it. There. 2.0 F. After that, let's go to the void start. Now void start is where we're going to put the functions that we need when the game starts. So of course we need to reference our component, the rigid body. So the components with rigid body are going to be subjected to the physics system right away. Rigid body, close it, then open and close parentheses. After that, we should freeze rotation in order to maximize the movement of our cube. If you won't put this code, the cube, when you're moving it, the cube is going to keep on rotating. Then it will also affect the direction which it's going for some reason. Then to the void update. So in this void update is we're actually going to update is actually a frames per second functions, because the way that this function behaves is that it updates the system every few seconds, every seconds. So for example, when I press on the right arrow, then the engine checks for it, and of course if we program the game object to move to the right, then if it checks that I'm pressing the right arrow, then the game engine is going to move to the right. So you can begin by making an if statement. So we begin now. If then the input get key is a function, so the engine can know which key are we going to press. So key code for now, let's just at the arrow. It's the same for WASD controls. You can just change it. Then open bracket. This we're gonna open the bracket. Open bracket. Then RB dot velocity, no, small letter v. The script editor is very cap sensitive, so make sure to get your caps lock right. So transform component is what deals with the position of your game object, its scale and its rotation. So transform right multiplied by the speed that we set in, then it's going to start moving in the right and in the direction. Then close bracket, no space. Actually you can have space. Then begin the other if statement. Right now it's lagging, so we can just copy it. Just change this to the left arrow, change it to the left arrow, then transform right. You can just pick the opposite, put it on a negative sign, and it's going to start to move to the opposite. So it's going to move to the left. Next is a bit unique. So we're going to use the vector tree here because there's no transform code that's going to help us going to move forward and back. So I'm going to input dot get key. Key code dot up arrow. So we're going to start moving forward. Up arrow, double parenthesis, right there, open bracket, then RB is equal to. Now here we're going to use the new means new behavior. So we're going to introduce here vector tree. So vector tree is a code that allows us to manipulate the object and where it's going. Vector 2 is used for manipulating two coordinates only, while vector 3 allows us to manipulate the XYZ coordinates and where, so we can actually move the game object forward. So I'm going to press it 0, 0, then 1 on the z-axis, 1 on the z-axis, so it will move forward, multiplied by the speed. It's just the same. There, close bracket. Then next, the code is the same. We're just going to make it the opposite again. So instead of the up arrow, we're going to make down arrow. Then instead of 1, it's going to start move to the opposite, so we're going to put -1. Then close bracket. Then let's check our code. See, the void update started here. It should end with a parenthesis there. It's red, so I think there's something wrong with their code. Let's just check it. So yeah, new behavior script. So let's check it if it's gonna get updated. Now it's gone. So we haven't attached the script yet. After that, we're going to attach the script, or else it won't move, just like what you saw. Attach it to the game object, and it should work. Let's just check, inspect it in the components, and there it is. Then the game object should start to move. There. So that's it for this video. I'm going to make my next video. It's about how to apply walking animations to your models. So you can actually get your models here in this asset store, but that's it for the next video. Okay, I'm out.